How cruel can a person be? The story we are about to tell you today crosses all limits of cruelty and brutality. Today's crime story is not for the faint of heart. Listening to it will make your heart tremble. The crime is so heinous that anyone who hears about it is left shaken, thinking if a human can be such a monster. As they say in Bollywood, a mother tells her child to sleep or Gabar will come. Thousands of miles away from India, something similar happened in Russia, where after the story of this crime came to light, people were left in shock. The story begins in 1992 in the Russian city of Novotcherkassk. This city, located about 800 kilometers east of the Russian capital Moscow, on the banks of the Volga River, is otherwise quite peaceful and full of natural beauty. But in 1997, an extremely heart-wrenching incident came to light in this very calm city. On a night that same year, a man named Vladimir Nikolayev was returning home late after a party with his friends. When he reaches near his house, he finds a man at the door of his building. As he gets closer, the man asks Nikolayev for a match to light his cigarette. Drunk, Nikolayev takes out a match from his pocket and gives it to him. Immediately after lighting the cigarette, the two, both intoxicated, start talking to each other. But soon this conversation turns into a fight. For some reason, both of them start shouting loudly at each other. The other man, while shouting at Nikolayev, attacks him with his hands. Seeing this, the drunk Nikolayev's anger reaches its peak, and he hits the man so much that he dies. Seeing the man dead, Nikolayev's intoxication lessens a bit, and he is shocked by what he has done. He quickly looks around, trying to see if anyone has seen him committing this murder. But because it was late at night, there was no one there who could have seen Nikolayev committing this murder. Taking advantage of this, he puts the body on his back and takes it inside his building. After that, he drags it up the stairs and throws it in the bathroom of his room. From here begins a story that will make your soul tremble. Nikolayev's purpose for bringing the person to his house was to cut the dead body into several pieces, which would make it easy to dispose of the body. With this thought, he took off the clothes from the man's body and started cutting his body into pieces with the saw he had with him. One by one, he cruelly separated the hands, feet, and torso from the dead body. After such brutality, Nikolayev's goal of disposing of the body should have been fulfilled, but unfortunately he did not stop there.
While cutting the body, a moment came when more monstrosity awoke in his mind. As he was cutting the body into pieces, his eyes fell on the person's thighs. There a thought came into his mind that even the cruelest person would probably not think of. He cut the thighs of the dead body and started to boil them. When the meat was boiled, this monstrous started to eat it. You tell me, can this be called anything other than monstrousness? This is something only a cannibal can do. The surprising thing is that before this, the thought of becoming a cannibal had never even crossed Nikolayev's mind. But they say that in some moments, a human becomes a devil. While cutting the body, Nikolayev became something like that. You will be in great pain to know that when this human-like monster did not like the taste of the boiled meat, he calmly started preparing to fry the meat on a griddle. This monster cut the boiled meat of the dead man's thighs into smaller pieces and fried them. After eating this fried meat, Nikolayev enjoyed it, and slowly human flesh became a delicious meal for him. Nikolayev then committed another murder, and unfortunately, the same fate befell him. First he would kill someone, and then he would take out all kinds of chunks of meat from the dead body to use in his food. Things went so far that he started selling human flesh in the market. In a meat market, Nikolayev sold 5 kilograms of human flesh, claiming it was kangaroo meat. Not only this, he also involved his friends in this crime by calling it exotic meat. He sold the meat of his murdered prey to his friends, and with that money, he bought alcohol and drugs for himself. When one of his friends took the meat given by him home and gave it to his wife, she made momos with that meat. These momos were eaten by Nikolayev's friend and his wife, as well as by their children. Just think how much those parents have felt when they found out that the meat they had fed to their children, thinking it was kangaroo meat, was actually human flesh. Just hearing it makes one's blood run cold. For about 2 years, this monster's misdeeds continued. If he had not been caught, who knows how many more people he would have brutally killed and used for food. It was a good thing that a woman who bought meat from the meat market did not find any traces of kangaroo meat in the meat sold by Nikolayev. This woman had eaten kangaroo meat before, so she knew its taste. Becoming suspicious, the woman sent the meat sold by Nikolayev to a lab for testing. What she heard from there made the ground slip from her feet. The lab doctor told the woman that there was strong evidence of human blood in the tested meat. Terrified by this, the woman told the police everything. When the police reached Nikolayev's house to arrest him, what they found there left the police officers stunned. Perhaps they too had seen such a gruesome sight for the first time in their career. Writer Sandra mentions this whole incident in her book, True Vampires, Blood-Sucking Killers Past and Present. The police found a pan full of human flesh being roasted on a stove and another cannibalistic dish in the oven. He had kept the rest of the body parts frozen outside in his balcony, packed in ice. Seeing all this, the police officer's hair must have stood on end. Immediately after the arrest in 1997, when Nikolayev was presented in court, it was a terrifying sight in itself. He had no remorse for the crimes he had committed. He appeared in court laughing and smiling and said that if he had not been arrested, he would have continued to kill for human flesh in this manner. During police custody, he joked with the police about his crimes and said that the human flesh they had found buried in the ice outside his house should be eaten or it would go to waste. From this you can understand for yourself how dangerous this man is for society.
Immediately after his arrest in 1997, looking at all the evidence, this monster was sentenced to death. But it took 2 years for him to be hanged. By then, the year 1999 had arrived, and a law banning the death penalty had been implemented in Russia. This is why Nikolayev survives the gallows. But leaving him free in society is quite dangerous. That is why he was sentenced to life imprisonment and placed in the maximum security K6 Dolphin prison. This prison, built on the Russian border adjoining Kazakhstan, is notorious in itself. The rules of the jail are quite strict, and prisoners are not given the freedom to roam. During the day, no prisoner is allowed to sit or lie on their bed. Whenever they are taken out of their small cells, their faces are covered with a black cloth. Every 15 minutes, the jail guards patrol the entire cell so that all the prisoners follow the rules to the letter. It is said that there is only one way to get rid of this jail: death. After that, it is impossible to get out of here. The rules of the jail are indeed quite strict, and why shouldn't they be? About 700 serial killers and terrorists like Nikolayev, who have crossed the limits of brutality, are locked up here. The relatives of the people killed by Nikolayev had expressed a lot of happiness when Nikolayev's hanging was stopped. They believed that the death penalty would have been an easy punishment for this killer. They want this monster to remain behind bars for the rest of his life, and in reality, there is no possibility of him getting out. He will have to rot in this very jail for the rest of his life. Perhaps this is a somewhat just punishment for his sins. If you think that after doing such a horrifying act and getting a life sentence in Black Dolphin jail, this monster would have come to his senses, you are completely wrong. This person does not have an iota of remorse for what he has done. Rather, he describes his horrific crimes in detail and with great relish. In a documentary by the National Geographic Channel, Inside Russia's Toughest Prisons, when Nikolayev was asked to mention his crimes in front of the camera, he narrated the entire story with great shamelessness, laughing and enjoying himself. Watching this documentary would make anyone's mind feel disgusted.
When Nikolayev was narrating his tale of crime, even the jail wardens and other policemen sitting there were shocked to see him. They were in a state of shock, completely numb, listening to his words, as if they couldn't believe how someone could be so inhumane. You too will be stunned by looking at his face and expressions. Currently, Nikolayev is forced to remain in that same jail for the rest of his life. He is now 63 years old, and the inhumane crimes he committed are also 30 years old. But even today, he is counted among the worst criminals in Russia, a prisoner whose reform is not possible. Do you think that keeping him in jail for life is a just punishment? Or should there be some other law for such dangerous monsters that is equal to the crimes they have committed? Please let us know in the comments section. If you liked the information given in this video, then like it and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We will soon be back with another crime story. Until then, take care of yourself and your loved ones.